that really stuck out to me that I wanted to talk about too. So the bottom one, it says, "Hey girl, I was looking at your page and noticed fitness is a huge part of your life, just like me. I did Insanity for almost 2 years and loved it. I wanted to see if you would be interested in being a product tester with a 40% discount for my health and wellness products. I'd also love to have someone as motivated as you are about fitness join my team." So this person that sent this message, had they have stopped and just said, "Hey girl, I was looking at your page and noticed fitness is a huge part of your life, just like me. I did Insanity for 2 years and loved it." That would have been perfect. That would have been the perfect way to engage. But instead, they just went on and talked about why they needed you as a customer, not what they could be doing for you. It was more about them. When you're cold messaging someone, it's not about the other person. You are focusing on getting the sale, and people are going to pick up on that. It's not something that it's just not going to work out well with people. Um, let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at my notes for a second. Okay. So there's just these other examples on there, where it's just immediately jumping into, hey, there's this opportunity, and da da da, but people can see right through it. So always make sure that you're going in and you're building the relationship with people. You want to jump us over? Thank you. I'm lost. I keep trying to hit the button to move the slide myself, and I can't do it. Okay, so what's considered your warm market? People that you've spoken to before, usually people that you've spoken to in a non-business manner, so you have that kind of connection with them. Anyone who reacts, likes, or comments on a post. If you're posting something and they're reacting to it in some kind of way, it shows that in some way they're being supportive of you, or they're interested in what you have to say or what you have to offer. People who consistently view your Instagram stories and see what you're about. So on my Instagram stories, I will look, because you'll see, you'll have the number of people that have viewed it. I'll look and I'll see who is consistently sticking out the whole time to look at my Instagram stories. And those are the people that I usually try to engage with, because they're obviously checking something out that I'm posting about. Also, people you went to school, with, or, from back home, family members, old friends, old acquaintances. Um, this could even be like friends of friends that you know of, but not necessarily know. You can engage with them. Also, existing customers and referrals. But this is where the 7-step funnel system is still really important, because you don't want to just completely jump into someone, even if it is someone that you know super well all the time, that you want. I'm listening for baby sounds. Sorry, guys. Um, you want to make sure that you're re-engaging your warm market with the funnel system. That's another reason why it's there. It's to turn, away from the cold invites and turn your cold market into your warm market, but also to re-engage the warm market, so that you're not just jumping in. And there are times when you can go ahead and just send the invite, and I'll talk about those too. But you always want to make sure that you're being genuine when you're sending messages and going through that time to build the relationship. An example of why it's important to re-engage your warm market. Actually, tonight when I was prepping for the call, I got a message from a girl that I know from back home, and we don't talk often, but we do talk every once in a while. She's someone that I've tried to build a relationship with, and I'm in the process of doing so. But she sent me a message, and usually when I hear from her, it's usually like sales kind of stuff. She's done a few different network marketing businesses. And so tonight I saw her name pop up, and immediately it was an invite to a Pampered Chef thing. And my first reaction was to just put the message down, because I was like, oh, I'm not going to check that right now. So you don't want that to happen to you. You want to make sure that you are genuinely speaking to people and talking to them like they're your best friend, not talking to them like they're a potential customer, because it's not how you're going to gain them. You're not going to gain any trust that way. All right, tips to inviting your warm market. So when you are going in to actually do the invite, don't word vomit. We have a lot of information that we have to offer, but it can also be overwhelming. If you think about when you first started in this business and all the different things you had to learn about, I'm sure it was overwhelming for you. So you don't want to have someone ask you about, the Shakeology, about your fitness program that you're doing, et cetera, and then just go into like the full thing. You want to breadcrumb it and just give little bits of information at a time and ask questions, because that's going to be the best way to make sure that you're giving them the information that actually pertains to them. You want to make sure that you are being beneficial to them and not coming from a standpoint of how is this person going to be beneficial to you. So, like I said in the last slide, act like you're talking to your best friend. Same thing that Jessica mentioned the other night with your posting. If you aren't talking like you would normally talk, then no one is going to believe what you're saying anyways. If it doesn't sound like you, that's immediately going to come out in messages. So you're trying to build a relationship with this person, so you need to actually just be yourself, or else it's not going to work. You want to avoid any kind of Beachbody lingo. So instead of saying challenge pack, say sale bundle. Instead of saying Beachbody on demand, say Beachbody streaming service or Netflix for fitness. I use that one a lot because there are still people, even though it's out there everywhere, that don't off the top of their head know what Beachbody is when you mention it. So make sure that you're talking to a person from the standpoint like they don't know what everything is, because we are so in it all the time that we forget that if we say the term challenge pack, that we say, Beachbody on demand. Like one example, when I first started talking to people about Beachbody on demand, my a couple of times people were like, but I don't have cable. I was like, oh crap. Well, I obviously didn't do a good job at explaining this. So things like that, it'll turn people off if they hear that kind of stuff, because people will object to things that they don't understand or that sounds too out of the norm for them. So you got to try and talk to them on best friend level and use words that are going to come across where they can understand it, I guess. But yeah, so the Netflix for fitness thing, that's more where I go to. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's all the different programs that they've ever released, including any new ones. And, you just stream it at your own convenience and from home, and avoid actually starting with Beachbody on demand as much as you can, as like when you're going to explain it, because people hear on demand, they're like, oh, cable. Make sure that you're connecting with them first. So again, re-engaging your warm market. So we're building a relationship first and foremost. The sale should not be your focus. So even being like, hey, how are you? And then jumping in, like that's not saying much. Ask them questions. How are they doing? What are they up to? If they're in school, talk about what they're going to school for. If they have kids, talk about what, their kids are doing. Just find the common interest between you guys, even with your warm market. Because again, you don't want someone to feel like you're coming in for the sale only. And again, if you're, not talking like they're your best friend, it's going to come across like you're disinterested or you're not being yourself. So type like you're excited, use emojis, use exclamation points, act like you're excited, because you should be excited. You're about to change someone's life. This is a big deal. We're all in here because it changed our lives, and we're looking to change other people's too. So act like it when you're messaging people. I'm actually going through this a little bit quicker than I thought I was going to. All right, so I put here some samples of some invites that I've done lately that have led to yeses. And these are not ones, that were immediate yeses, but they were eventually. So again, like I talk about the Beachbody on demand, the on-demand option is amazing. When you're interested in doing it, let me know and get you on it. My monthly accountability groups, that's the other thing too, like challenge groups. I've stopped using the term challenge group so much because people hear challenge group and some people will shy away from anything that sounds like it's going to be a competitive thing. And when I got introduced to challenge groups, that was something that I thought too. I thought that I was going to be like up against other people, which can be a naturally like healthy competitive person, so it wasn't necessarily a downfall for me. but it can be for other people, and people don't understand. So that's another example of using, you know, or shying away from Beachbody lingo. And let's see. Okay, so there's one up in the corner, and this is where I was talking to a person for a while. I know this will get left up, so I want to make sure when people are looking at it, because I did mention not going back in with someone you know. These are all warm market people. You know, some were cold market that turned into warm market, and some were people that I've just known my whole life. So I put, hey, love the skydiving video you posted today. It was awesome. It looked like an awesome day for you guys. I saw you say that you don't have any desire to do it. Haha, I'm with you there, but it's cool to see other people do it. Question for you. I wanted to see if maybe one of the accountability groups that I run every month would be a good fit for you. This is someone that I had been messaging back and forth for a while. This wasn't like a one-time message thing. She's actually somebody that I had an ongoing conversation since I started back in November up until April. So it was like a 5-month process. So it's not always quick. It's just important to be consistent with keeping that relationship up with people, even if you're not sure if they're going to do it. Another one at the bottom. I actually have been listening to a lot of Bonnie Ingles calls. I really love her objection calls and her information. So this was one thing that I saw in one of her calls, and it said we were asked to create a list of people that we thought would be really great additions to our fitness accountability groups that we run. And your name seriously keeps popping up in my mind. Do you think you'd be interested in accountability groups and working out from home? Again, this is someone I messaged after I had been using the funnel system on them and building the relationship that way. So it wasn't a message I was sending out just out of the blue. But yeah, these are the invite or the style of invites that have been working for me lately. So I wanted to put a couple of examples in there for anyone who may need some ideas. Jessica, if you will move it over for me. Thank you. All right, so I talked about there being times when you can bypass the funnel system and to direct invite. It can be kind of hard, and this is one that you have to fill out on your own, make a judgment call. I put when they're a close friend or family, someone you speak to often. So if it's one of my best friends that I'm talking to on a daily basis, or my sister, my mom, my family members, you know, then it's going to be easy to jump in and just be like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Because it's someone you know really, really well. You know, and they're not going to get the creepy vibe, the icky vibe from you if you're going to jump in and do an invite like that. Okay, and then I put when they have specifically reached out to you about the coaching opportunity or about programs, challenge groups. When someone is messaging you, obviously that's the time to jump in and do the invite because they're already showing that they're interested. But just make sure that when you're talking to them, you're still taking the time to form them and get to know them and ask them about, you know, their family, their job, and, you know, all the different things about them so that you're making sure that you know how to help them as a coach. Um, I put this in here because I see people posting it all the time. So when you've seen them publicly post asking for advice on fitness, health, nutrition, career change, side hustle, remember to be tactful. Talk to them like they're your best friend. Don't leave them feeling icky about you. So especially in the summertime, you see people posting all the time about wanting to lose weight or about, you know, just trying to eat a little bit better, eat lighter kind of thing. So I do still do the funneling system here, but like I said, if it's someone that you know pretty well or that you've spoken to before, I think that it's okay in some points to jump in and go ahead and do the invite here, as long as you're being tactful about it and you are being respectful when you're doing it. I had somebody post, oh man, asking for advice on shakes because sorry, because they were wanting to switch around. They had tried a couple before and it just didn't work for them. And so at that point, I messaged them and I was like, hey, you know, I saw that you were asking questions about shakes. Let me tell you about the one that I'm on and see if maybe it's a good fit for you. If it's not, no pressure at all. I just wanted to let you know what I've been doing because it's been working for me. So that kind of thing. And then when someone's referred them to you. So like one of my customers for 80-day obsession, she was doing this with a friend. Her friend was coming over and working out with her at night. And then it hit a point where it was just becoming a struggle to get together 6 days a week to work out. And so at that point, she was referred over to me. My friend gave me her phone number. And so I reached out to her. When you're having someone refer you because a friend or a family member has shown obvious interest, at that point, it's okay to start inviting. Same thing though, just make sure when you are talking to them and throwing out the invite, you're still trying to get to know them and you're still asking questions. You never want to just go straight into the invite without actually showing an interest in them still. I think that is the biggest thing to remember between cold marketing and warm marketing, is to make sure that you are just really, really getting to know them. Because like I said, we all get those messages on Instagram and on Facebook all the time. And you get the message and you realize like, okay, this isn't about me. This is about making money off of me. And you don't want to be that person for someone else. All right. So I guess I blew through that call a lot quicker than I was going to, or I thought I was going to. So,
I was clicking the button now. I was like, oh wait, that must mean it's the last slide.
yeah. No, I sat there and I was like, was there one after that? But no, I really, like, I sat there and timed myself to make sure that I wasn't going to go over the 30 minutes because we all know I like to talk a lot. So, making sure. And I guess I went through it quicker. So, if there's anything you wanted to add, you go ahead.
Well, first I want to admit I made a mistake. And so I didn't start recording until the second slide. But it was kind of just like an intro, so
That's okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Say good information's past that.
But I thought it was really awesome. I actually took a few notes. It's funny because you were telling stories and I totally related. So like the Beachbody on demand and like I don't have cable thing, it made me laugh because I had people actually go, so I looked on my on demand and I couldn't find anywhere where to order Beachbody. And I was like, oh, okay, let's talk about this again. And then the when you said like when you were talking about the people you can bypass the funnel system and just directly invite. And again, it like made me think about what Kim said yesterday, how she's like, there's always those people that you could sell dirt to, like your mom. Exactly. I'm like, okay, that's a great example. Like when she said that, the people that you could sell dirt to, I was like, okay, that like really clicks in my brain right there.
Exactly.
And then another one, when you were talking about like the Shakeology thing, I had a girl who was asking about prenatal vitamins because she was trying to get pregnant. And I was like, I know so many people who said that their doctors told them they didn't have to take prenatals while they were pregnant because they were drinking Shakeology and it had like everything in it that's in the prenatals. So I just messaged her and I was like, hey girl, I was like, I know that you were asking about prenatals because you're trying to get pregnant and you're not there yet. And I was like, I don't have prenatals to suggest. And I was like, but I do have a shake that I drink every day, and from what I know is it has everything in it that a prenatal does. If you want to look at the ingredients and take it to your doctor and compare them and ask your doctor if it would be a great fit, then that'd be, just let me know and I'll help you I'll help you order it. And she was totally interested, and we ended up going separate ways, not because of that, just because her husband wasn't a very nice person. But anyways, had that not been like a relationship issue, that would have been a perfect way to just be like, hey, I'm presenting this to you because you asked about prenatal vitamins,
Yeah, because you definitely see people all the time asking for information about stuff like that. So that's why I say, like, if you're gonna go in like you did, like how you were like, oh, I don't know if this would be a fit for you, take it to your doctor kind of thing. You always want to make sure that you're asking, the questions, stuff like that, and like letting yourself stand out because they're probably getting other messages from other people that are selling things too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I like what you said about the prenatal vitamins. I haven't had experience with my own customers during pregnancy. you would think with having so many babies in such a short amount of time, I would have ended up with pregnant customers, but I never did. So, but I used it when I was pregnant. So I think that is really cool that you thought to bring it up to her when she was asking about prenatals.
Yeah, it's because I just saw some videos of some other people who, some other coaches who, while pregnant, had asked their doctors, and their doctors were like, skip the prenatals because you're getting everything in your shake, and you don't need to double up because your body's not going to store it twice the amount. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And then, especially with like, so one thing that I do like is the fact that we do have competition when it comes to shakes because there's just so many other brands out there, but most of those companies don't have the workout products to go with it. So I do love that we have that so that when people are asking about, the whole package, we do have that to combat it because like if you're going to send a message to someone who's asking for a referral on social media, they're going to get 10 other messages behind you. And that's always something that I think about when I'm messaging a person, and I try to actually make myself sound personable so that it's just not this thing where they're like, oh, I wish I would have never posted that. So, oh, man.
agreed. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. Karen, you're the only other one on the call right now. Live.
Oh, well, I missed a
sorry.
couple of the other. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate your time, and this is really good for me. I'm just sucking it all up and learning, and I started, doing a little bit of my own Instagram stuff through just watching other videos and stuff. But this is really, really, really helpful. I've kind of, I started the funnel system, and I've been engaging with people, and you can tell when they're warming up to you. So it's a really good, a good process. I did have thought of some other friends that I'm going to just invite because they know what I'm doing. We've talked about it before, but there's, it's all good stuff. And like I said, I really, really appreciate you guys doing this and helping us out.
Definitely. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It gives us good practice in our mentorship and our leadership.
Yeah,
also,
for sure.
I feel like a lot of the times when you watch calls like these and it's a 15-star diamond coach, no matter how much they say, like even if they're saying the exact same things, it's just kind of like, well, it seems unattainable in the moment sometimes when you're a coach or an emerald coach, so to hear other people like that are like in the thick of it with you.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And I love the examples. That's really helpful too.
Good. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
I'm helping. So thank you for being on here.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Oh man.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.